Up to October 3, 2021, just 8 countries possessed aircraft carriers: the United States, China, the United Kingdom, France, Russia, India, Italy, Spain, Brazil, and Thailand. Following that date, there were 11 countries of that kind. Japan was included. In this video, we will discuss Japanese aircraft carriers, focusing on the causes for their emergence, the impact on international relations, and why October 3, 2021 could be seen as the final official day of the world order. Established after World War II, the world has now entered a new period where it will need to select a global leader once more. This indicates that a large-scale war could occur again, which would likely have devastating consequences for our society. Relax. It will be intriguing. And now we begin. Remember that the primary outcome of World War I was the ultimate confirmation of the United States as a global leader. Germany was split into 2 states, the GDR under the influence of the USSR and the FRG part of the Western camp. Japan was similarly demilitarized. Japan signed the San Francisco Peace Treaty, giving up the ability to have military forces beyond its borders. This rule was established in the Japanese Constitution. The Japanese people are committed to seeking world peace via justice and order. They have permanently given up the right to engage in war as a country and to use or threaten to use military action to resolve international conflicts, as stated in Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution. Aircraft carriers are viewed as aggressive tools that have the potential to intimidate other nations and disturb global stability. As a result, Japan was not allowed to possess such ships.
At the beginning of the second millennium AD, the existing world order started to show signs of weakness.
In early October 1990, the 2 Germanies merged. The GDR joined the FRG. The world saw it as a loss for the USSR in the Cold War. And precisely 21 years later, there came an incident that ultimately ended the old world order.
That day, 2 F-35B fighter bombers, flown by pilots from the 242 and Fighter Attack Squadron of the U.S. Marine Corps Aviation based in Japan at Iwakuni Air Base, landed and then took off from the Japanese helicopter carrier Izumo, effectively transforming it into
an aircraft carrier. The 75-year period following World War I has come to an end. Why did Japan break its constitution? October 3, 1990 marks the West's triumph over the USSR and, in a larger sense, over the developing countries that the Soviet Union represented. However, October 3, 2021 signifies something very distinct. The Western countries are aware that nations in the global South are planning to remove the United States from its position as the world leader and are making preparations for this possibility. The Western elites' predictions were accurate with the events of October 3, 2021 and February 24, 2022. Russia has initiated an attack on Ukraine, and on a global scale, the southern region has started a significant onslaught against the western region, with Taiwan potentially being the next target. When it comes to Japan, the nation known for its samurai heritage, it was surrounded by a group of countries that were unfriendly and had highly powerful military forces. From the north, Putin's large, assertive Russia cast a shadow over the country. In the middle is likely the more assertive North Korea, governed by Kim Jong-un, and to the south is China, headed by Ping. Disregarding such a risk would be extremely foolish, and the Japanese are not unintelligent in any way. Japan's transformation of helicopter carriers into more powerful aircraft carriers is one way they are addressing this threat. Now, let's touch on these helicopter carriers, the Izumo and the Kaga. They started building in 2012 and 2013, respectively. The Japanese stated that they would host aviation groups consisting of 14 helicopters each. It has led to a great deal of confusion among observers. A vessel weighing 27,000 tons and measuring 248 meters in length, 40 meters longer than the British light aircraft carrier Invincible, appeared unusual with its flight deck, 2 helicopter elevators, and only 14 helicopters as the primary armament. The offspring of the samurai, however, raised their shoulders, grinned, and muttered something about Japan being a peaceful nation. So they grinned until 2019, when the Japanese Defense Ministry agreed on a preliminary budget that involved modifying ships to accommodate the F-35.
On October 3, 2021, as previously stated, 2 US F-35Bs completed their inaugural flight, which involved taking off and landing from Izumo.
Of course, a lot of work had been done on the ship. Until then, the landing and aircraft traffic control systems had been updated, power generation had been boosted, and power lines had been much improved. However, the primary task was to put a heat-resistant layer on the flight deck, as there were no plans to launch any aircraft at first. Remember that the F-35B is a type of advanced fighter aircraft from the F-35 Lightning I series made by Lockheed Martin. The F-35B variant possesses the capacity to perform short takeoffs and vertical landings, is the second model in the F-35 aircraft series, and is designed for use by the U.S. Marine Corps. The current operators include the US, the UK, and Italy. Between June 2020 and June 2021, Izumo was worked on by Japan Marine United in Yokohama.
The initial stage of the upgrade project amounted to $3.1 billion, which is approximately $28 million, and focused primarily on the potential for accommodating Izumo F-35B aircraft.
The next stage of development will start once the pilots complete the round of test flights. That is around the start of 2025. At this stage, the form of the ship's bow will alter. It will be expanded to ensure safer takeoff and landing of airplanes. The electronic optical landing system, JAPALS, will be set up. Hangars and elevators for planes will be fully upgraded. Fuel oil, spare parts, and component storage facilities will be modified to meet new requirements. At this point, the second helicopter carrier in this class, the Kaga, will also be completely updated. There are no intentions to set up ramps that depend on the F-35B's capability to take off and land in a nearly vertical manner. Once the 2 stages are finished, Izumo and Kaga will be fully equipped light aircraft carriers able to carry up to 16 F-35B aircraft. Let's discuss further the technological features of these ships. The typical ship crew consists of 470 individuals, but the total number of military troops on board, including aviation and technical staff, as well as landing forces, might surpass 1,000 people. 4 General Electric LM2500 turbines power the 27,000-ton ship to a speed of 30 knots. The creators of the Izumo and Kaga have entirely disregarded any built-in weapons except for 1,220mm Mark 15 Phalant Seawiz anti-aircraft guns and 2 pack surface-to-air missiles with a range of up to 10. Will Japan's 2 light aircraft carriers alter the power dynamics in the region? Today, Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force, known formally as the country's Navy, is already strong. Besides 2 aircraft carriers, Izumi and Kaga, Japan also possesses 2 helicopter carriers, Hyuga and Ise, each weighing 18,000 tons. Additionally, they have 8 contemporary destroyers, which are similar to the American Arleigh Burke class, specifically built for missile and air defense capabilities. Defensive anti-aircraft missiles in standard launch silos can be substituted with tactical strike weapons, along with 28 destroyers of outdated types, 10 frigates, and 23 diesel submarines. Expert calculations suggest that the Japanese Navy is already over 2.5 times bigger than the Russian Pacific Fleet in terms of weaponry. That is accurate regardless of Russian nuclear submarines. However, the Japanese are not going to stop there. On December 16, 2022, the Japanese government endorsed the national security policy, which includes a focus on enhancing the Navy. Specifically, it stated that Tokyo has the power to retaliate against targets within the territory of a possible adversary. Simultaneously, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida directed that within 5 years, in 2027, the military budget will be funded at $8.9 trillion, equivalent to $64.8 billion. At the present currency rate, this is approximately 7 times greater than last year. This year, the total is $6.8 trillion, which is around $49 billion. A large portion of the rise in military expenses is intended to be allocated toward acquiring new weaponry. How will this impact the fleet?
Initially, the Japanese intended to build 2 missile defense ships.
These will be actual giants, with a typical displacement of around 20,000 tons. The initial one will be put into operation by the conclusion of 2027, and the second by the conclusion of 2028. They will have a very strong missile defense system called Aegis Onshore, which was first planned for land installation, but later decided to be installed on the ships. Additionally, their considerable size will enable these ships to house many silos for different kinds of missiles. Aside from meeting the requirements of missile defense, they will have the ability to launch missiles that can target distant land and sea objectives beyond the enemy's range. The Japanese Defense Ministry notes that these ships are being constructed with a focus mainly on North Korea, which is actively enhancing its missile capabilities and occasionally fires ballistic missiles toward the Sea of Japan. As a result, the new warships are anticipated to have the capability to stop North Korean missiles that are flying at high altitudes. Furthermore, Japanese Defense Minister Yasukazu Hamada stated that these ships will be prepared to intercept hypersonic missiles from China, Russia, and North Korea. In addition, Japan has an agreement with the United States to provide 42 F-35B aircraft. However, only 16 plus 16 can be accommodated on its 2 helicopter carriers for a total of 32 machines. What is the purpose of 10 more? For use on airfields located on land? That's ridiculous. The F-35A is ideal for that. It possesses superior technical features, especially in terms of range, and is less expensive than modifying the deck, maybe for converting the other 2 smaller helicopter carriers, Yuga and ISA, into aircraft carriers. It appears that the Japanese are influenced by their insightful sayings. Quick is sluggish, but without brakes.
When we contrast them with China, the Japanese appear less strong.
The Heavenly Empire's Navy is now ranked 2nd globally and is quickly closing the gap with the US Navy. Currently, China has 3 fully operational aircraft carriers. The final one, the Fujian, weighing 85,000 tons, is expected to start operating this year. But who claims that Japan will be by alone in the conflict with China? The United States and South Korea will likely participate together. Simply put, it will be a hard battle. On one side are the United States, Japan, South Korea, China, Russia, and North Korea. However, it seems that whoever dominates Southeast Asia will influence the entire planet. That's where the future world leader will be chosen. Will the US maintain that title, or will there be a successor? Time will reveal. What are your thoughts on Japanese aircraft carriers and the potential conflict between Japan and China? Share your thoughts about it in the comments section. Thank you for tuning in. If you liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and share your ideas in the comments. Goodbye for now.